On the couch today, we have Lucas Wilson, co-founder of Scratch Studios. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, our absolute pleasure. What I love about your story, Lucas, is you've gone down a different route to a lot of filmmakers and creators. So you left school, and within 5 years, you've been able to co-found your own, creative business. You must have been a tough road, a lot of sacrifices, and a lot of energy. Can you talk us through this sort of snowball effect from leaving school to getting to where you are now in quite a short amount of time?
Yeah, well, that's quite a lot all in once. But yeah, so I did my media studies for an A level, and then from there, my media teacher, as I was leaving school on the last week, said, "I know this summer course you can come and do. They need someone to shoot some of the media for. You'll get your accommodation paid for. Get paid quite decent for the week. It's 6 weeks." I did that straight away. So I finished school. Next day, I went to work on that summer course, and then bought a Sony A7 III. Made two music videos for friends as soon as that course was done. Put that on the internet, and then had a little bit of a show reel. Made some YouTube videos, and then that was me done for that summer. So it was September time. Everyone was starting to think about their gap years and stuff, and I just got home at that point. And my mum was like, "Well, you need to get a job now. I need to go get a job at the coffee shop." So I went down, got the coffee shop job confirmed, and I saw that night. It was this post on Facebook of like just a stock image of a palm tree with "Need someone to come to Caribbean for 60 days to film, accommodation paid for." And I was like, "Oh, this sounds great." But obviously all the comments were, "This is a scam. Don't reply to this guy. There's nothing on his profile." Um, but I sent him everything I had at the time, and he came back to me. He was like, "Oh, just saw your YouTube videos. Like, love, your personality comes across. Like, when do you want to come out?" And I was like, whenever I'm not really doing anything." He's like, "How about Thursday?" I was like, "Yeah, Thursday's great." They sent me the tickets, and then yeah, I was out. I ended up being out there for about 8 months. So we worked in the Caribbean and America and Canada. So I got all around doing real estate stuff for him. And then he also used to run DJ Magazine, so he got me on doing some festivals and some music connections. So I had quite a decent portfolio in my first few months.
So was this a global Facebook post, or was he targeting the UK?
Yeah, it was just international videographers something on Facebook, like something like that.
And he just needed some help, and
Yeah, because I mean it's way cheaper just to fly someone out for and pay their accommodation than to hire a professional locally everywhere you go. So it's just that was.
were you aware that this was probably going to be your career path at that point, or were you still sort of exploring different options?
I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I was just having a good time with the filming. I think obviously having on my first day out of school got a job where I'm being paid to do media stuff. I saw, you can easily make money with it, but I didn't know where to go with it. Obviously, there's so many different places you can go.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that there's a generational sort of value shift happening now of Gen Z, where there's so much information online, you
Mm.
can self-teach.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
Did you ever fear that maybe you should have gone down the traditional route, or were you just confident that
No. My
in
s- my school was trying to push me to go to a film uni or something, but I'd met film students like during my summers like at festivals. I remember meeting this group of film students. I can't remember what festival it was, and I was asking them all about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, it's fun. We've learned about this and this and this." I was like, "Oh, how many films have you made? What are you doing?" Like, and they're like, "Oh, we haven't made our film yet." And like, "You're on year 5 of your course. Like, why haven't you made a film yet?" I don't want to do that. My worst part of school was the writing and all that aspect. All I was good at was making films, the technical side. So I did not want to go to film school.
and they don't seem to teach you what like one criticism potentially of film skills is they teach you creativity and theory.
Mm,
You're saying maybe you don't even get to make a film, but most importantly, you get taught no business skills.
mm.
You seem to have a lot of that. How have you acquired your sort of nous in business?
I think I was very lucky. These guys I ended up working with in the Caribbean, they're serial entrepreneurs, and being around them, like coming straight out of school, was very eye-opening as to how you can interact with the world, um, as a sort of like entrepreneurial cowboy. Like there was something you said the other day to me. It was like if you hop on flights, international business seems to flow. I think that was very true of them, and yeah, they taught me a lot of lessons. Just sitting around and taking in what they were doing was definitely my course in business.
Fortune favors the brave.
Yeah.
Did you come from a family of business-oriented people, or where did the spark come from?
Um, my dad was quite business orientated, but I was never really pushed to do business. Or I mean, when I was younger, I was pushed to try and be academic, but that sort of went away. I remember my teachers when I was last year, I was like, yeah, I want to do chemistry, physics, and maths, and they looked at me and said, no, you're gonna do media and psychology and something else.
So 5 years at you could have taken 5 years at university,
Mm,
not even produced any sort of film or anything,
mm,
and that you'd be graduating now, or down your road right now. You're co-founding a business. You've already been
mm,
in business for years, really.
mm.
Um, that wasn't an easy road, though, right? You would have made a lot of sacrifices. Like, what were you doing at the start? I think you said to me the other day, you were sleeping on couches and taking 50 quid Facebook jobs.
Yeah, I mean, the only place I could find jobs at that time was Facebook, so I just saw Facebook as this holy grail of that's where you find work. But obviously, now looking back, those aren't the best jobs. It's a lot of jobs being like, oh, I've got £50 for someone to come and shoot an event for the evening, and that's including bringing the kit, shooting it, editing it, making changes, chasing them for the money, and you sometimes just wouldn't get that money. There'd be no contracts, no trust in these people. I mean, you get when I started out, I lost a lot of money thinking people would just be honest and give it to you or respect the job, and that wasn't the case. I feel like it's very popular like in the meme culture of film with clients that pay a lot, they pay like that, and clients that aren't paying very much won't. That it's like a big deal to them to spend that £100 on like a video.
Wow, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
you're you're doing £100 jobs and then still not getting paid.
yeah,
And as you get more successful, you get paid more, but and
yeah,
quicker. So it
yeah.
just makes it so much harder to start.
Yeah, so it was once I got a few bread and butter jobs and some people that I knew were sort of reliable would pay, try to do as much for them as possible, and then keep doing all like the free jobs because you can't really do anything in film unless you have the portfolio to prove you can do it. And at that point, I had nothing, so I just had to be approaching people and be like, "Can I do this video for free?" And then you go and do something boring and like get paid nothing for it, and then eventually you could show the people who are doing a bit more interesting stuff. Look, I've done all this free work. Like I can do stuff like this. Like let me do more of that, and then yeah, just gradually getting more and more work.
Building the networks is probably the key element to this industry. It is a bit
Yeah,
of like who you know probably trumps what you
yeah.
know a little bit. You're saying to me, I haven't heard anyone that say this before with us. This whole behind the scenes strategy that you sort of had, offering to shoot behind the scenes and do reels, work for Instagram.
Yeah,
Can you talk about that experience and what the benefit is with that sort of thinking, to
mhm.
build your creative skill set, but also build your networks?
Yeah, so I think that came from I hear a lot of people saying things you don't know what you want to do until you know what you don't want to do. So I just wanted to experience every role on set and know what they all are. I thought the best way to do that was to shoot behind the scenes because behind the scenes content was the thing that got me first interested in movies, like watching behind the scenes of big movies on the discs. So I just really wanted to be on sets, film what was going on. You can just be as invasive as you want, really, unless someone's being they're busy. You don't want to get in their face, but you can just sort of ask people questions. What are you doing? They want to tell you, and it's good content for everyone, so everyone's happy that you're being there. Whereas if you're sort of just going and asking, "Oh, can I come on set and shadow?" Sometimes people are like, "I don't really have time to do this right now." But if you're, making content for them, I mean, who doesn't love having their pictures taken?
Yeah, and that's led to opportunities for you.
Yeah, because you'll end up chatting to people. They'll be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And obviously, a big thing I see in industry is you have to tell people what else you're doing, not just the job you're doing on the day, because people will just take, oh, they're doing this today. That's what they do. And then you'll bump into them 5 months later and tell them about some project you're doing. It's like, oh, I thought you just did behind the scenes. What's up? Yeah, you do have to tell people I'm here because I want to be here doing behind the scenes. I'm interested in, what you're doing, and then funnel them towards. But I'm looking to do more of this and that, and I know you do this and that. Maybe we could do some stuff together at some point, something like that.
One of the emerging themes that we're starting to see from this series is those who can master Instagram and the creative and the camera or whatever seem to be the ones that are winning.
Mm.
How are you leveraging Instagram to build your career?
Ooh, I honestly don't think I am leveraging Instagram as much as some people could. I mean, on like a commercial sense, we've got a strategy lined up for Scratch to just drive revenue to our studio space. But as our own creative projects, they're more like a landing page, and then just having on. It's like a more interactive LinkedIn. People just posting stories of jobs. People need someone last minute for tomorrow or the next week. It's more of like a bulletin board rather than a place to leverage the work.
There's a back end strategy though. You were saying the pub strategy,
Oh
DMing
yeah,
people for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
drinks. Can you talk a little bit about that? I thought it was pretty genius.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think I think it's kind of straightforward. It's if you like someone's work, if you send them a message being like, "Hey, I love your work. Can I work with you?" You're just another faceless Instagram profile. I mean, everyone follows each other, but no one really knows each other. If you just say, "Hey, I love your work. Would love to hear more about how you did it, how you got into it," kind of, the conversation we're having, just over a drink. Just go out for a drink with some people, and then you'll get to know them, get to know their friends, get to know their network, and there you, bada bing, bada boom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beer strategy. I'm up for it. Let's talk about Scratch.
Mm.
You've been doing multiple different things for a number of years,
Mm.
flying to the Caribbean, sleeping on couches, shadowing, behind
Yeah.
the scenes. But it's people that form companies win in the end, don't they? And
Mm.
create their own opportunities. How
Yeah.
did this whole thing come together, and where are you taking it?
Well, I tried doing something similar about 2 years ago with an agency called 40 Found, but I was trying to do it with just myself, and I tried getting someone in to come and help with the sales aspect, but yeah, you can't really do an agency with one person and just all the automated admin. But this is a friend of mine, Patch, who I met a few months ago, who used to run a headshots company, who is partnering with me and another director, Becky, who is a great director. We just got back from a project in Switzerland, actually. Um, so we're all back in the country today, and we're mainly uh, sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. Well, I mean, I can ask the question again, and we
yeah,
can
yeah, could
explore it a
we?
different way.
Yeah.
So now moving on to Scratch Studios, how did that come about? How did you find the different co-founders and come together, and where are you taking it, and what can you do with Scratch that you couldn't do on your own?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, the main thing with Scratch that I've seen from working on bigger projects and, agencies that I admire and people that I admire is a lot of people get repeat bookings because when you come as a team, you have a proven method so the client can see these people have worked together before on these projects. This is the outcome that they have produced. This is the outcome we can expect if we hire them as that team. Whereas if you're hiring individual crews, sometimes people will crash. You'll get different ideas, different just vibes flying around on set, and you don't always get the same product. The main thing we want from Scratch is a consistent product, so someone can look at our portfolio and know when they hire us, they will be getting that same quality and output.
Who influenced you the most getting to this point? Was there anyone online that you followed?
Um, I mean, it's got to be Casey Neistat, really. Yeah, I could consume his content all day. Yeah, he's
What
great.
what was it about Casey that sort of inspired you? You know, he's from New York, US, a little
Yeah.
bit different culturally to the
Mm.
UK. but there's something there that's ubiquitous, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you can take so much from him, but I think the main thing that really got me a few years ago was when I watched his life story video, and to see him get to where he is just from working hard, and to know that I've had such an easy life, and for me to not work as hard as he does, there's such a waste. Like I'm very much conscious of what an easy ride I've had, and it would be like insulting to a lot of people if I didn't just work hard.
Is it is it learning, getting the confidence from someone like Casey Neistat that you put in the work, you do get the results, and that you can
Mm,
see that because he's uploading every day. You see the
yeah.
story unfold in almost real time.
Mm.
What about Gary Vaynerchuk?
I love Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah, he was someone I listened to a lot when I was in the US. Obviously, if you listen to him a lot, it can get very repetitive, but it is just the same message that he's putting out. It's just being consistent, being positive, not to feel entitled, and not to feel like anyone owes you anything, apart from invoices, obviously.
Yeah, first rule in business: get paid.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting paid, uh, you've structured the way that you live and your studio.
Mm.
I thought that was very innovative. Talk to us about how you structured that.
So, yeah, the living in London's been a real difficult one. Obviously, I was couch surfing for the first sort of 2.5 years, and then COVID happened, and then I had to find a place, and I went to live in like the warehouse district on like Fountain Road, because you can get some really cheap places there. But then when I had to move and find somewhere that I could work from, obviously it's just far too expensive in London. And one day I just took the cap off the little money slider, and I saw this place, and I thought, wow, you could fit a photo studio in there. So yeah, that's what I've done. I basically went bought a load of pro photo kit, all the backdrops, and downstairs I've got a photo studio, and then upstairs is sort of the scratch offices, and then there's like a little curtained off where I sleep, yeah, area.
Oh, the entrepreneurial spirit. So, Lucas, you've done a really good job of merging the two forces together of business and creativity. What are some of the lessons that you've learned that you could share with us around, bringing a business mind into solving some problems that creativity can't always solve?
Um, I guess the main thing is, in a way, asking for help, is realizing that as a creative you want to do everything and be that person there up accepting the award and having all eyes on you as look at my amazing work. But yeah, there's another road I can go down with that. But the main thing is when you reach out to people and ask for help, people are very willing to help and excited to work on the project because it's exciting. And then as soon as you start collaborating and thinking more in the mindset of just need to make something very good rather than I want to make my thing as good as I can, just you want to create something good, you can just have as many people in as possible and they will help you in ways that you wouldn't have thought of, and so a lot of those stresses that you might be having as a creative can just melt away with the help of others.
Like, to make a really nice meal, you need not just multiple ingredients, but just the right amount.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And someone else to help with the washing up.
And not the taking the fear away of hiring people as well.
Yeah, no, I was definitely very afraid of that at first. Obviously, right at the beginning, you just there's not the money for that. You have to do everything yourself. But yeah, as the budgets get a little bit bigger and you're trying to like think, you know what, I'm not going to give a producer 15% because I want 15%, and then you're sat in the airport being like, oh my God, we booked the wrong dates and we have to do an extra this, and you lose all that money on some awful thing that's gone wrong that you could have just had the producer save you that money and stress and focus on the job at hand. Because when it gets to that point, you need to have your head in the head in what you're doing, your exact job role. When you're thinking too much about the logistical side and trying to direct and shoot and where the light is, you can't be present for all of those things.
How's the roles all split up at Scratch? What's your role? What are your co-founders' roles? How are those moving parts going to work together?
I'm very much on the technical side, lights, cinematography. Becky is very much on the directing side. Patch is very much photography and very personable man. I wish he could have come and been here 'cause he's he's a great person to talk to, but he's very much someone talking to client.
So Scratch is launching. What sort of work are you after? If you give like a little bit of an elevator pitch on what sort of clients you'd like to win and the work that you'd like to get involved in, and how the community could get involved and help you guys fly.
Ooh, a big move we want to make is to get a lot more set designers involved in our projects. So we want to be able to, do nice big campaigns that you might see when you're walking through free in an airport, Zara, obviously Gucci, all those fun things. But just for me, if even if we just book nice, solid commercials, get the revenue up, and then spend that money on some of our own creative, I forget what you call them, not pilot projects or preliminary projects, but those when you shoot something to show what you can do. What are those projects called?
Proof of
Yeah,
concepts.
proof of concepts. So we can generate some commercial revenue and then make some creative proofs of concepts with set designers. That is what we want to move towards to prove to the more creative commercials that we can make those things for them.
As this story unfolds and grows, where can people follow you or engage with you or Scratch?
People can follow us at Scratch Studios UK. We're currently working on getting the trademark just for Scratch Studios, so we should be at Scratch Studios on all platforms.
Amazing. Well, Lucas Wilson, thank you for joining us here at the FOMO Lounge, and we look forward to watching the story unfold.
Thanks very much. It's been a
Cheers.
pleasure.
Thank you.